Welcome to the 2018 Evaluation Exchange Practice, to be held in Rome, Italy, at FAO headquarters. This year, participants will have the opportunity to take part and actively contribute to 6 of the 18 different sessions, organized around 3 main themes relevant to evaluation. So, which topic interests you more? Listen to our lead conveners and make up your mind.
We can recognize a good evaluation report when we look at it. However, how do we get there? We will have an interactive session in the Evaluation Practice Exchange Seminar of 2018, where you will be sharing the experiences of the International Labour Organization, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, and the World Food Programme on how to get quality assurance of evaluation reports beyond the checklist. It will be a very interactive session, and you are welcome to participate.
During this session, we will not only be able to brainstorm on existing practices, but also we will be able to discuss your needs, and you could ask for assistance from your peers. After this session, you will have some clear ideas on improving utilization of recommendations in your organization. For the session, please think ahead of the questions you would like to get answers to and experiences you would like to share with us. Together we can make evaluations more utilization focused, and we look forward to meeting you.
As evaluation managers, we all face similar challenges and wonder how best to respond to them in a way that would not undermine the impartiality, credibility, and utility of the evaluation. For instance, imagine that a typhoon hit a country just before the field mission starts, or that your team leader falls sick.
How have you overcome such challenges? If you're willing to share your experience and are interested to hear from others, please join us. We promise the session will be fun, practical, and engaging. Last but not least, there'll be a prize for the winning team. We're looking forward to seeing you.
As evaluation managers, one of our important stakeholders are the donors. They are often strong advocates for evaluation, but could sometimes be difficult to deal with, either because they want to be too much involved in the evaluation process or have unrealistic expectations from the evaluation. In this session, we will look at donors' involvement in evaluation from both a macro and a micro level. So if you have or interested to hear about fascinating donor experiences in evaluation, please join us. And remember, this will be your chance to vent your frustration in a safe environment.
Hello, colleagues. As we know, hiring suitably qualified evaluators is not always easy, and yet it's on them that we often depend for the credibility, utility, and impartiality of our evaluations. At the same time, we're increasingly hearing from some evaluators that bidding for contracts in the UN system is not always straightforward, which may mean that we're not accessing the experts that we would like. UNCDF, UNRWA, FAO, and UN Women would like to invite you to a session at the EPE to discuss this in more detail, to learn from each other on how best we can do this, as well as better meet the needs of those that we're seeking to work with. Hope you can join us.
We really welcome you to our session, which is going to be looking at the impact of evaluation on users. So looking at the use of evaluation. What can we do to enhance the use of evaluation evidence? We're looking at it from a systems perspective, looking at how we work through organizational structures to try to increase the use of evaluation evidence, and also looking at it from a cycle perspective, the evaluation process, working with evaluation teams and stakeholders in the evaluation process. We've got some cool apps that we want to try out. It's going to be very interactive. We really welcome everyone's experience on this, what's worked well, what hasn't. We really look forward to having you come and participate and exchange with us. Thank you.
We tend to think that a statement based on evidence is in principle stronger than others, right? But does this hold true in the era of alternative facts? This session will try to bring the big picture of what is happening in a post-truth world to the practice of evaluation at the United Nations. The session is organized in an interactive fashion with a mix of plenary discussions and work groups that will drill down on the topics and conclude with specific take-ups. Whether you are an evidence-based believer or a believer of evidence-based, this session will cover traditional issues on evaluation, design, process, and use from a fresh and innovative perspective. See you all in Rome.
How do you reduce the cost of your evaluation without reducing the quality? How do you justify your choices to a project manager concerned about your high evaluation budget? And how do you justify allocating resources to the evaluation function when there is already an audit function in your organization? We will reflect about these questions through different role plays. And as a participant, you will have the opportunity to intervene directly in the role play or to provide anonymous feedback and influence the dialogue using the Mentimeter application.
Dear colleagues and friends, we typically evaluate projects, programs and policies that have been designed in the past. Now, is it legitimate to use current standards and criteria to evaluate these past projects, policies and programs? Let us discuss it together through a scenario simulation. We will simulate cases in which we have to use current criteria and standards for past projects. Let us join, please, an amazing EPE discussion.
The value of independence in evaluation, given all of the other conflicting forces that we are witnessing today, in particular fake news, but also the importance of ensuring that evaluations are relevant to what we are doing and to what extent independence and relevance might be a trade-off. So we're going to host a very exciting Oxford-style debate where two of my colleagues from different UN evaluation agencies will argue for the merits of independence and their primacy, and two of us will argue against the motion in front of the House, arguing that relevance is probably a far greater value and principle that we need to enshrine in our policies. Please come and engage with us. It'll be a very exciting session. Thanks.
As evaluators, we work for transparency. We all know, though, that we cannot write everything that we uncover. There are many cases where we end an evaluation with an issue that sort of stays unresolved. I want to use this session to explore with you what can be done in those cases through the analysis of a number of scenarios, so that we don't have to finish an evaluation again with a sense that we should have said something that we didn't.
Hello, I would like to invite you all to our session on No Baseline, How to Measure Impact. We've all been in situations where we've been asked for results and impacts, but there hasn't been a baseline to measure the change from. We now have an opportunity to hear from several different agencies on how they resolve this challenge in very different and challenging environments by being really creative. We'll be doing this in a safari style, and I hope you'll be able to join us on a no baseline safari to hear, learn and discuss what to do in situations when you have to demonstrate impact but you simply have no baseline. See you soon.
We will discuss how you can really use theory of change and evaluation, what the added value is of using theory of change and evaluation, some tools on how you can actually reconstruct a theory of change based on project documents, and how you can also engage stakeholders more in the design and validation of theories of change. It's going to be a very interactive session where you will be the one who will bring the main ideas and discuss with the other participants. It will be a sharing of experiences, not just a series of boring PowerPoint presentations.
In this session, FAO, WFP, IFAD, UNDP and the ILO will share their experience on methodological challenges of planning and conducting country portfolio evaluations. We welcome each of you to actively participate, and we'll use a snowball technique to discuss and present the experiences. Thank you very much.
Did you ever want to learn more about how you can use tools such as machine learning, geospatial data, and big data in the context of data collection and analysis in evaluations? The workshop will be organized in a World Café format, where collaborators from different organizations such as UN Women, JEF, IFAD, UNITA's program UNOSAT, OIOS, and FAO will show and tell 6 different topics in a science fair style around the room.
Evaluating policy support is not a new area, but the challenge and complexities involved in this type of evaluation transform over time. Under the SDGs framework, the demand for policy support tends to increase, and so does the need for evaluating the support given. The aim of this section is to explore the contemporary challenges and complexities involved in this type of evaluation, and also to serve as an opportunity for collective learning by sharing our experiences with this type of evaluation.
At the Rome UNEG meetings, we're hosting a session which will be an exciting fishbowl session where different heads of evaluation agencies will look at what the implementation of evaluation policies have taught us. So we'll be sitting around, but we'll be inviting members from the audience as well to ask us questions on what have we learned and what is it that we can do now if we were to reformulate our policies to make them more rigorous, more credible, more useful. And really, do we need to rethink the principles that we look at when we're thinking about evaluation policies?
See you in Rome to discuss together and share our experiences as professional evaluators.